For some, this was their first home video game experience, the classic Atari 2600. Released in 1977 at the time, it was revolutionary. Now with our modern consoles and VR, 2600's cartridges have ended up dusty in the back of video game stores. But fast forward to 2021, and believe it or not, the Atari is making a comeback, and its designers say it pays homage to the original 2600, but it's more powerful than ever. The new Atari VCS is an Atari like no other. The redesigned console doesn't just play the classics, it looks towards the future of gaming.
We call it a PC console hybrid.
The VCS is a unique machine since it's a gaming console plus a Linux-based PC that can run Windows and Chrome apps for productivity. The VCS also has built-in 4K streaming, but really, this new console is about the games. And aside from access to the Atari VCS Vault with classic games optimized for today, it also can access unique indie games online.
We like to think that we can help shine a spotlight on some really exciting creators.
To play those games, there's a modern-looking controller, but also the familiar Atari joystick. This new joystick has the Atari feel with a wireless upgrade and more.
It's got a rumble, it's got LEDs, it's got an extra fire button.
Talk about going back to the future. I'm Andrew Enger, and that's your download.
The Atari VCS console with controllers is available for pre-order now for $399. You can check it out over on news12.com under numbers and links.
Culture.
Hi, News 12. I just won The Voice.
Community.
The first shot went into the arm of Port Washington nurse Sandra Lindsay.
Connections.
Seems like so much fun.
It was pretty hectic.
Discover News 12 New York.
Hey, look, we're happy, right?
A new way to see the best of News 12's local channels from across the tri-state area, all in one place. Now streaming 24/7 on your favorite devices. Discover News 12 New York today.
It's a beautiful day at Pure Poetry. This is Portia. My name is Portia Descala Antonio, and I am the owner and founder of Pure Poetry. I've always known that I wanted to open up a space like this. And so in 2015, we opened up this space, and I feel like this shop is a vessel in which we can make, a lot of things happen. It's not about me, it's not about, what I have in here, but it's about, making a difference. 30% of what we have in here are local artisans, and they do a great job. So this is sweet dirty jerk. It is a Jamaican jerk sauce. It's sweet and it's also spicy. So this is a local artisan. Her name is Ralph and Martha, and she's made these vegan leather bags for us here. I've always loved being different, right? And I don't want a store that you can walk into that looks like everybody else's store. I think these are really unique. It's called Coffee Wick, and they're coffee kinglings, and they're great for the fire pit or the fireplace. And I love to support local. So this is Earth and Wick. Earth and Wick is another Trumbull father. They're locally crafted soy candles. They burn up to 40 hours, and there's the most amazing fragrances. Pure Poetry is a little bit of everything. I think the real thing is that they have a good time in here. I want them to leave happier than when they came in. Anybody can make money, but if they're not happy with what they're doing, or if they don't exude those feelings of, being truly happy for everyone that walks through their doors, it's all for nothing.
Efforts to expand Alzheimer's research right here on the island. Our Danielle Campbell has the details.
Watching a loved one sink into the depths of this memory-robbing disease is a dark journey.
To see someone you love deteriorate in so many ways, it's unbelievable.
David German's wife, Linda, was an executive in the garment industry. The couple from Watermill have been married for almost 30 years. They have a daughter and a lifetime of happy memories. But because of Alzheimer's, for Linda, those days are now forgotten.
She had all these friends and a bubbly personality.
But now a ray of hope for those seeking a cure. A $250,000 grant from the Alzheimer's Foundation has been awarded to NYU Langone School of Medicine, located in Mineola, to study the disease in a new and innovative way.
Now the science caught up with our vision.
The study is different because instead of scientists looking at the end stages of the disease, they will focus instead on the early stages. Dr. Allison Reese heads up the lab that will be conducting the research.
It allows us to expand, to look at the earlier stages where we can see subtle differences that we can take advantage of to prevent the end stage results.
It's too late for us, but I would love if nobody else ever went through it.
Dr. Reese believes this research and its findings will be life-changing.
Have optimism that we are on it. We got this.
Danielle Campbell, News 12, Long Island.
Because I feel like in the last 2 years we've built a community here.
Laura Bonis Palmer is a longtime attorney who left the legal world to pour her heart and fortune into what is Newark's only black-owned commercial art gallery. Aquaba Gallery, the name means welcome, opened in February 2019.
Philip Robinson here is an artist in Jersey City.
But business has been crushed by the pandemic. Closed for months, the gallery canceled 5 shows, and its other key revenue stream, rental of the gallery and outdoor event space, disappeared, leaving Aquaba on the brink.
The not so easy thing to do would be to close the gallery, rent the space out.
The federal government last year launched a Paycheck Protection Program to help small businesses through the pandemic. But Bonis Palmer's attorneys and accountants told her she wouldn't be eligible for funds because applicants had to declare previous year net profits. Aquaba, like many new ventures and many businesses whose owner is the only employee, had none to show. Meanwhile, she's watched as many large corporations received millions from the program.
I'm a lawyer by trade. And the minute I read that one little word in there, that net profit in there, I knew that a lawyer had written that and that it was done to put people at a disadvantage.
Bonis Palmer, along with her husband Ray, started this place not so much as a business, but as a way to build community. By those standards, the return on investment has been massive. Kids on their way home from school stop in for impromptu art lessons. Visitors travel from across the region to a strip of South Orange Avenue that doesn't get a lot of visitors. And up-and-coming artists can show and maybe sell their work. These 2 pieces by Newark artist Steve Green sold just this morning.
To make that phone call to tell an artist, guess what? I just sold a piece of your work. I can't tell you what that feels like. I want to be able to continue to do that. I want to be able to continue to build on that.
So Bonis Palmer is turning back to the community with a GoFundMe campaign to cover losses and keep Aquaba alive until it can once again live up to its name.
I want to stay open. I can't give this up without a fight. I can't.
I'm Brian Donahue. That's Positively New Jersey.
It is pothole season here in New Jersey. Crews, as you can see, are out doing what they can to fill those craters, taking that shovel. You saw that. Jersey City has contracted with a Pennsylvania company that brings in a serious piece of equipment for the job. News 12 New Jersey's Brian Donahue followed its tracks.
Driving up Jersey City's Monticello Avenue, there's signs that a killer has come this way.
Oh, this looks like a fresh kill.
At the corner of Summit and Central, I find the suspect in the act.
What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, I'm okay. How you doing?
The Pothole Killer. It's this dinosaur-looking beast of a machine driven by Alvin Davis. He uses air to clean out the pothole, applies emulsion, then the gravel patch. All from a joystick in the cockpit. It's like a video game, quick and no shovel required.
It minimizes the amount of manpower. If you were filling these with a regular crew, you're probably talking 4 or 5 people with, more equipment and things like that.
Jersey City native Brian Mills supervises and keeps track of the potholes that people report via the city website or sometimes in person. This is their 85th pothole today. although Mills, who's been doing this for 18 years, calls it more of a depression.
That's what people feel like when they hit it. They get depressed.
Yeah, if there's one thing that's positively New Jersey, it's potholes. Our old roads, massive amounts of traffic, including trucks, and almost daily freeze-thaw cycles for months make them bloom this time of year like almost nowhere else. Complaining about them is a taxpayer's favorite pastime. Bragging about filling them is the politician.
This has been a particularly tough winter statewide, so we're dealing, like the rest of the municipalities, with a lot of potholes.
And so Jersey City's boasting about its 2 pothole killers. These things are beasts. This one fills the hole and moves on to the next one, and the one after that, and the one after that. An annual March ritual that will never die off, no matter how hard anyone tries to kill it.
I'm Brian Donahue. This is Positively New Jersey.
Shore towns in Cape May County are jumping in to help seniors get the shot. They're not giving out the vaccine themselves, though. News 12 New Jersey's Erica Such has those details.
We just wanted to make sure that we took that anxiety away for our seniors.
Ocean City Mayor Jay Gillian launching a COVID vaccination assistance team, helping seniors get those coveted vaccine appointments that can be hard to secure.
A lot of people don't understand the computer, and we've gotten away from the personal touch. We've gotten away from customer service. Everything now is you go on your phone, you go online, and it drives me crazy.
The city now designating a team of vaccine hunters who will take the legwork out of getting an appointment. They don't have any special in to vaccine sites, but rather the knowledge of where to look for appointments and how to schedule them. In the program's first week, they were able to get 40 seniors signed up and vaccinated. Most of those appointments made through the state's mega site in Atlantic City.
It's what we're supposed to be doing, so it makes me happy.
To get help from the city, all you have to do is fill out their form, which asks the same questions most vaccine registration forms ask. And to fill out that, they're making sure it's easy and accessible for seniors to do.
They can come to City Hall, they can go to our community center, really any city facility if they could come, they can go into and someone will help them or direct them.
In Ocean City, Erica Such, News 12, New Jersey.
Our political team is one-on-one with Scott Stringer, a Democrat. He's made his career out of public service, elected to the New York State Assembly in 1992. In 2006, he became the borough president for Manhattan, and in 2013, he was elected comptroller, a position that he currently holds.
I'm a kid who grew up in Washington Heights. We may not have all had a lot, but we certainly had enough. And I loved going to not just my local public school, but also Kennedy High School in the Bronx. During my political career, I've had the greatest opportunity to serve our city. I'm a former state assembly member, so I certainly know that we need a reset with Albany. I'm a former borough president, so I know about community-based planning, land use and zoning. And I've been the city's chief fiscal officer for the last 8 years. So I know every city agency, I know where the waste and the bloat is, and I know how we can redirect that money to do the most good in so many of our communities who have struggled during COVID. I do believe we have to address immediately the challenge of our small businesses. We've lost 2,800 small businesses that used to be part of our city, and they're gone. And we also lost 500,000 jobs in the process. So we've got to give every opportunity for our small businesses to hang in. I have audited NYCHA more than any controller in history. I know the stairwells and the light bulbs that are busted. I know the challenges of lead paint. I know the management challenges and the lack of repairs at NYCHA because I exposed it. The next mayor has to develop what I call my NYC under 3 plan. I want to make childcare affordable for New Yorkers all over the city. And when you put all that together, I would argue that I have the vision and the skills to be the mayor, but I also am ready on day one because of that experience, because of that forward-looking view I've had about how we can move this city forward.
You can check out the full interview as well as our profiles of the candidates running for New York City Mayor as they air on our website, news12.com. We also have all the information you need posted there to register to vote. Very important. Now, the important dates for you to know is May 28th. That's the last day to register in person or have your mail-in application postmarked by. If you need to change your address, that needs to be done by June 2nd. The primary election is coming up on June 22nd.
He is the photographer behind mind-blowing and beautiful shots like these from the platforms and tunnels of the New York City subway system that have gone viral with nearly 20 million likes on TikTok. And in a project Mr. NYC Subway started during the pandemic, he gets strangers involved and a local business. So I met up with him in Brooklyn to see how that whole process works. On a Saturday during the pandemic, Andreas P. Varios, aka Mr. NYC Subway, is usually underground somewhere, keeping his eyes peeled.
Not missing anyone that walks by you to make sure you find the perfect stranger.
On this day, he's at the Metropolitan Avenue station in Williamsburg, armed with, of course, his cameraman, and some brand new hats from local hat shop Gorin Bros.
The feather accents.
So now it's time for the stranger search. Who will model the hat in a full-on photo shoot and get to keep it?
These are complete strangers. There's nothing set up here.
Getting some no's is part of the process, he says, but
until next time,
whoever it's meant to be, he finds. And just like that,
I think it looks perfect.
The perfect strangers for today.
Yeah, I don't know, I was surprised.
Not what the couple had in mind for their day, but Jaya Ananda and Daniel Combs moved to Brooklyn from Portland back in the fall.
I guess this is New York. We were just going to the board game store, but yeah, new experience for us, I guess.
A New York moment.
So what I'm gonna do is
because those moments don't stop during a pandemic.
And then as the train comes in, I'm gonna try to catch one with like just the front of the train here.
It's nice that there's still so much life and creativity happening despite everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah, we got it.
And for the local Gorin Bros shop here in Williamsburg, since the official partnership with Andreas began back in September, it's given them a bit of a boost with new digital content and new customers.
Especially now with what COVID is. It's difficult for the hats, but it also brings a new clientele. It's new people, new followers.
That's why the lawyer turned photographer, now with 1.5 million followers on TikTok, started this project to continue his passion during the pandemic.
Hold that. Even in a world crisis, New York is always able to find a way. No matter what, the creativity never stops here, and that's what makes this city, to me, so special.
It's an escape from the concrete jungle that Liz Tortolani calls a boutique bathhouse.
Yes, people aren't getting away, but they need a place to feel like they're getting away. And that's really, honestly, what we've always tried to create at Citywell.
The Backyard Retreat recognized for its aesthetic.
Pretty incredible even to get mentioned at the awards because it's a very small project. And these design awards, you know, everyone participates, like even huge architects that have like 300 people working for them. So it was already a big gain for us to be even nominated.
Citywell has had these cabins for a number of years, but during the pandemic, it became highly utilized by clients.
So when COVID hit, everyone was Googling outdoor massage, outdoor spa, and you know, we came up because we've been here and doing this for all this time, but a lot of new people found us as well.
These experiences can be private and tailored to each client because of safety guidelines.
Essentially, you have pretty much the entire space to yourself, both inside and out.
Bringing New Yorkers back to nature.
So we always wanted to kind of take them away from the city.
In Gowanus, Katie Vasquez, News 12.
Well, this Women's History Month, we are spotlighting the founder of a Dobbs Ferry nonprofit who is using her flair for fashion to make a difference in her community and the world. News 12's Michelle Brown has that story.
I think after being in the fashion and beauty businesses for so long, I needed to connect purpose to all that pretty.
In 2016, renowned fashion expert Mary Alice Stevenson found a way to do just that.
So we're here in the Glam for Good warehouse space.
The former fashion director of Harper's Bazaar, who's also worked at other prestigious fashion magazines such as Vogue, founded the Dobbs Ferry-based nonprofit Glam for Good.
Glam for Good Foundation was really born from that desire to take all the excess in our industry, all the excess clothing, beauty products, and connect it to people in need.
Before COVID-19, the organization would go into disaster zones, hospitals, schools, and shelters, but the pandemic forced them to pivot.
We literally created gives that we'd send to facilities across the city and state, and then the facilities or the shelters would do the pop-ups themselves.
All the clothing, even wedding gowns.
Alberta Ferretti wedding gown.
And personal care products are donated by well-known stores and designers. The nonprofit has collaborated with Oprah Winfrey and former First Lady Michelle Obama, a modern-day trailblazer using fashion to empower and change lives.
I hope that being able to tap into the excess in the fashion and beauty industries and utilize it in a sustainable way to help people in need here in Westchester and across this country is something for the history books.
In Dobbs Ferry, Michelle Brown, News 12.
Sam Kirsch clicks for hours a day. He's not playing video games.
Say vaccine.
At least right now. He's saving lives.
So there I go. I just got a April 13th one.
It started when Sam watched his dad get his grandparents the slot for their COVID-19 shot, and they thought,
there's a lot of elders that can't really get appointments that well because they're not very good with technology.
So Sam reached out to his neighbor, Gita.
This is my workstation.
A fighter by nature, a Holocaust survivor, now trying to beat cancer.
I needed to get the vaccine before the end of January so I could start getting my chemo.
She couldn't get an appointment, so Sam took down her information, hit refresh until a time popped up, and Gita got her vaccine in January.
I don't even know how he does it, exactly.
She told 30 of her friends.
Because none of them knew how to go through the system with the government.
So Sam created a website. Seniors fill out a brief form, and Sam hits refresh.
One side of my screen is doing my homework, and second side of my screen is just like getting appointments.
In about a month, Sam has guided 1,000 New Yorkers to their vaccine.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing thing.
For a vaccine that is still being tested on kids his age, Sam is changing lives.
And now they can kind of get their life back to normal, and they get to see their grandchildren.
1,000 grateful New Yorkers.
I still get phone calls thanking me that I had a shot because Sam helped them.
And as long as there's a need, Sam will be clicking. And then there will be time for more video games.
And we have a link to Sam's website on our story on news12.westchester.com. There are more than 100 people who are on Sam's waiting list to get his help. His dad and a couple other friends are also involved in this, but this is really Sam's doing, really taking it on. Incredible work.
What a great kid. Now, Eric, does Sam ever reconnect with the seniors he helps out?
Some of them actually do email him, and there was one story that really stuck out to me that Sam told me, and it was a grandparent who said that he missed the birth of his grandchild last year because of COVID. And because he was able to get the vaccine, thanks to Sam, he was now able to meet his grandson for the first time.